Investing in first responders as the city continues to grow. The Fayetteville City Council has decided to raise pay for police officers and firefighters. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shows us how this attracts new talent to a growing city and keeps longtime members rooted in these departments.
I think with this new pay increase, we're definitely above market.
Every 2 years, the city of Fayetteville does a pay study for police and fire, comparing what other departments pay and how they can stay competitive.
It's not just recruiting new people onto the force, it's retaining talent that you've developed, that you've invested in, the city has developed it.
After the city council's vote, entry-level police officers will now start at more than $60,000. That's up from around $54,000. Sergeant Stephen Mock says from lieutenants down to patrol officers, they'll also see an increase.
This is a fast-growing community, and so trying to keep up with the call volume, keep up with the expectations of our community. Fayetteville is a very active town, so we really will look to see that we can have a healthy workload on each one of our officers.
Entry-level firefighters will now make around $54,000 after some add-ons. It's more than a 12% increase, says Chief Brad Harden.
You're competing with not just the other fire departments, but I mean just the job market as a whole. They have to maintain that fitness their entire lives. The dangers of what they experience, so I mean they're compensated for that. And then also, of course, cancer. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death in firefighters.
Both say they are very thankful the council decided to invest more in their first responders.
We need to take care of our people, but we're paying them for more than just doing the job. We're paying them for what they see.
Very grateful to our community for supporting us, our city council for supporting the police department, and really seeing the value in recruiting high caliber talent to serve.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
The city says those rates are set to take effect at the end of this month. Arkansas State Police have identified a murder victim in a cold case that dates back for more than 4 decades. They now believe a body found in 1984 was 53-year-old Earl McDaniel from Kansas City. They say road crews made the discovery along Interstate 40 in Lono County back then. The initial autopsy from 1984 shows that McDaniel died from strangulation. State police say the cold case unit was able to use DNA evidence to identify the victim, but the investigation into what actually happened continues. Today at the state capitol, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders continued her push against Chinese-based apps, adding 3 more to the ban list for state-issued devices. Carter Thweet breaks down the new list and shares why cybersecurity experts say this is needed.
TikTok has been banned on government devices here in Arkansas since 2023. This morning, the governor added 3 more apps to the list: RedNote, a TikTok substitute, DeepSeek, an AI platform, and Lemonade, a social media app owned by TikTok's creators.
Who knows what data they're able to get from there.
Here at UA Little Rock's cybersecurity department, Dr. Sandra Leiterman says she agrees with decisions like these. She feels these apps have dangers for the average person, let alone legislators.
In the United States, we have data privacy laws, right? We have laws on what a company can collect, what they can do with it, who they can share it with. If there's a data breach on a Chinese-owned app, we don't know if there is and what they're doing about it. We also don't know what they're doing with the data. Who are they giving it to? Who are they sharing it with?
State officials feel the same way. In a statement, Chief Information Officer Gary Vance said the goal of blocking these apps on government devices is to prevent foreign entities from getting critical infrastructure or sensitive information.
When you look at DeepSeek, I mean, if you understand what an AI is, it's trained on data. Well, what data are they taking to train this model on? And is it sensitive information? Is it secretive information?
As far as how blocking these apps will work, the governor's office didn't say. But Leiterman says they'll likely be blocked on certain devices, in certain locations, on certain networks. And she says the governor's office has every right to do it.
If your employer, in this case the state government, feels that it's a risk, well, you have to comply with that.
That was Carter Thweet reporting. School safety also a focus during a hearing today at the Arkansas Capitol. A bill would require every school employee to wear a panic button around their neck. Pressing the button would allow them to keep in touch with emergency services during a crisis.
It tells us exactly where we're in the school so that admin, school resource officers could respond, or even as it talks in the bill about integrating with local public safety answering point infrastructure so that we can have police notified immediately.
This proposal draws inspiration from Alyssa's Law. It's named in honor of one of the victims of the Parkland school shooting in Florida. It's been passed in 7 other states. Committee members say they plan to add new amendments to the bill and then reintroduce it before the end of this legislative session. The Senate, meanwhile, passing a bill today that would expand the use of the drug ivermectin in Arkansas. If it is signed into law, the bill would allow the drug to be used over the counter. Tablets are typically used to treat conditions caused by parasitic worms and lice. Interest in it grew when people began taking it to treat COVID, despite the FDA warning against it. The bill will now head to the House for consideration. Washington County starting a new program this month that's aimed at low-level offenders to get the support that they need. Today was the second proceeding for Washington County's mental health court. Judge Tara Stevenson says it's incredible to see the response from participants as they look to turn their lives around.
It's just to be expected that people are going to mess up sometimes, but the emphasis we put is on participation and on coming, showing up, being here, being present.
Judge says that the county is looking for 20 people to be enrolled in the first year of this program. UAMS Washington Regional getting a $4.5 million grant to expand their joint education program. Funding will help create more residency slots with focuses planned on high demand fields like emergency medicine, neurology, and general surgery.
The value of the expanded graduate medical educations and the tracks that we'll have with Washington Regional Medical Center and UAMS gets to the one specific goal of providing excellent patient care.
Partnership began in 2019 after a study by the Northwest Arkansas Council found a shortage of physicians in this region. We are learning the former site of the 112 Drive-In in Fayetteville has a new sign out for sale. 2 years ago, we told you about the plans for rental homes, restaurants, even an Alamo Draft House to go in that site. Well, now people are wondering if it's even going to happen. The 112 Drive-In served Fayetteville from 1980 to 2022. Property was sold in 2022 and plans were announced to replace it with mixed-use development, including that Alamo Draft House Drive-In cinema. However, those plans never happened. Well, now the site is back on the market, seen listed by the Genesis Commercial Real Estate Group. Mike Morrison, a longtime patron of the Drive-In, says the Drive-In was a special place for his family.
I would like to see that preserved in its, maybe not in its original capacity, but in some capacity as a landmark for people, and build it out into something that people can continue to enjoy and appreciate.
County records list the owner as 2 limited liability companies linked to ITEX Group. 5 News reached out to ITEX, Genesis Commercial, and Alamo Draft House, but we have not heard back.